Hello, everybody. I was just tweeting on X because at the moment it's blowing up with this Egyptian terrorist, and I was sort of getting involved with that. And then I noticed that one of my videos has suddenly blown up. Over 1,000 views on blasphemy, which I spoke about briefly, in the past. And I thought, well, let me do a quick video now on Keir and the Egyptian terrorist, because I know quite a bit about Islam as well, and terrorism from the Islamic State. So I'm well versed in talking on this subject, So I'll be on TikTok live in about an hour or so, Claude, on Tony Holly's 08. Okay. So Keir Starmer. He's been trying to free an Egyptian terrorist. Now, this Egyptian terrorist has not spent one day of his whole life in the UK. His mum was born in the UK. He was born in Egypt, and he's lived in Egypt forever. Okay, so he's never ever even spent one day in this country. Now, this is where it starts to get complicated. Okay, because he's obviously had a terrorist, things all his life, and the Egyptians have finally locked him up because in Islamic countries, they don't muck about with terrorists. That's what they do. They lock them up. They make sure, that they quell them. They make sure they stop them before they can cause harm. That's why, you don't get that many terrorist acts in terrorist Islamic countries. That's why they go to, Western countries to perform all their terrorism acts, because the soft Western countries allow them to do it. So this Egyptian was in Egypt's prison for tweets, basically, and his tweets were along the lines of kill all white people, kill all colonizers, which is kind of strange because the religion he follows, Islam, and the prophet he follows, Muhammad, is no other than a colonizer himself. They want to go around and colonize the whole world. So Islam is a colonization, religion, yet one of his tweets was kill all the colonizers, which means kill all the Muslims and kill Muhammad as well. Bit late there, Muhammad's already dead. But never mind, kill all the colonizers, kill all the white people, kill all the police. And he also apparently in one of his tweets tweeted to the pro-plasticine mob, who were going round intifada, kill all the Jews from the river to the sea, jihad, and of course the Labour government allowed them to do it for 2 years, and still hasn't stopped them, even though they terrorised a shopping centre just recently, which is definitely against the law. Okay, if you don't believe me, go into a shopping centre which are all privately owned and try to do the same thing. You won't be able to. The police will come and arrest you on the spot because they're privately owned. You can't do it on privately owned land, okay? For some reason, the plasticine mob got away with it, doing it on privately owned land as well. Says everything we need to know about our present government. They support terrorists. They love terrorists. They fund terrorists. They want terrorists to come to the UK and blow everything up. This is quite clear. So anyway, back to this Egyptian, who said, unalive all colonists, unalive all white people, unalive all the police. And as I say, at the time of the pro-plasticine marches, he was telling the pro-plasticine marches, what you're doing is not enough. You literally have to burn down Downing Street. He wanted them to burn Downing Street. And this is the man, that Keir Starmer and his Labour government pulled out all the stops to get him freed from an Egyptian prison. The same man who said, burn Keir Starmer in his own house. I mean, seriously, I don't know whether it's stupidity. I don't know if it's idiocy, or I don't know, if all the money he's been given by, the Islamists has just, washed his brain out of his head completely, because the man is a complete nincompoop. Okay, this is all we can say. Now, of course, as I say, the problem we get is that the Tories are just complicit in this. That's why everyone who's on X at the moment talking about it and saying, why are the Tories so quiet? Is because this man was given his UK citizenship in 2021 under the Tory government. He didn't apply for it. He never asked to have UK citizenship. He was in Egypt. He was born in Egypt. He was raised in Egypt. He was happy to stay in Egypt. He never even asked for citizenship. The UK government gave him it without him even asking for it. The Tory government gave him it. And the Tory government were also implicit in, supporting his release to come back to the UK. So, it's not just a case of the Labour government, it is also the Tory government who are complicit in this as well. But, of course, the stage we're at the moment is all down to the Labour government and Keir Starmer. Okay, he's literally been locking people up like Lucy Connolly, Wayne O'Rourke, and other people, for tweeting about asylum seekers coming here, raping our children and unaliving our children. He's been locking those people up for 3 and 4 years. Here's this man who's been saying unalive all the white people, kill all the police, burn down Downing Street, and he's literally allowed him to come to the country, got him out of an Egyptian prison, allowed him to come to the country, given him a free house, given him free food, given him free £6,000 or however much they've given him. I mean, honestly, seriously, the whole thing is just totally absurd and absolutely crazy. And my view on it is quite simple. Keir Starmer made his thoughts well known to people who tweeted things, on social media that went above and beyond free speech and incited violence and incited riots, and they should be, locked up immediately with heavy prison sentences, and he facilitated that and made sure it happened. Well, here we have a gentleman, Keir, who you literally brought into this country, who have done that exact same thing. That exact same thing that you made people get locked up for 3, 4, 5 years or more has done that exact same thing. Basically, my thoughts are quite simple. Not only should the Egyptian be in prison immediately on a 5-year stretch, Keir Starmer should be in the prison cell next door to him. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You can't get more simpler than that. That's my thoughts on it, folks. Like I say, I was very surprised when, the last few on blasphemy, basically reached 1.2k, which again, is quite correct. And that was very short. So let's just quickly go over that. Blasphemy laws to stop anyone talking about Muhammad and Alleluia and the Quran. Why? Why? Muhammad was a child rapist. Why should we have a blasphemy law to protect a man who likes to rape children? The Quran says you can rape children. Why should we have a blasphemy law to stop people talking about a book which literally says you can rape children? A book that literally says men can beat up their wives if they refuse them sex. A book that literally says they can have sex with war captives and slaves. A book that literally says they must go and behead everyone who's not a Muslim. Why should we have a law protecting that in this country when it's not even our own religion? We shouldn't have. What we should have is we should have laws stating people can talk about it, stating people can, promote what this book says and what this prophet actually said and what this God actually says, which is basically unalive every non-Muslim, which is basically rape every single non-Muslim child, which is basically rape every single woman and child that's not walking around in a black bin bag. That's literally what the book says. It's why we had the child grooming gangs. Now, why would we have a blasphemy law stopping people from talking about that? And guess what? I don't care. Bring in your blasphemy law. Threaten to put me in prison for the rest of my life. I ain't going to stop talking about it, Keir. Do you understand that? I'm not. I'm not going to stop talking about how Muslims are literally allowed to rape children because they're not Muslim and they're not wearing a black bin bag. And if you don't like that, Keir, stick it up your ass with your Egyptian sausage. I hope that's clear enough for you. Scum of the earth.